Alright, welcome back to the very off-center camera. I just had to make sure that Violet's name was, in fact, updated on the overlay. Good. It's in the right spot. You guys can't see me thumbs upping the screen. I don't know why I just did. Spawning here in the top left corner of the map, though, from Complexity Gaming, the purple Zerg player, Hendralisk. And his opponent, in the upper right, is a barcode, better known as Violet. Now, this is what I was saying before. Hendralisk on his best day is a scary Zerg player. I mean, I love referencing back to WCS. Ooh, that's a very early pull. Let's see if the gas goes paired with it. When he beat Scarlet, and that's because he was able to train for it. Hendralisk is best, like, he's like a freaking sniper is the best way I can describe this. Like, when he knows what his target is, when he knows how to prepare for it, you give him enough time, he kicks ass. But, you know, if maybe he wasn't prepared for Violet, maybe he didn't know who he was playing today, maybe he's just winging it, might not be his best chance. Violet has always been a fairly consistently good Zerg player, you know, minus the time when he wasn't allowed to play StarCraft. Ugh. But, in all seriousness, like, he is consistently a very talented player, so I'm not shocked that he was able to take that first game. But I do want to say that Hendralisk messaged me after that game, and he says, oops, I guess I should have drone scouted a little bit earlier. And that's what I really like. He's such a smart guy that he knows exactly what he does wrong. It's not a situation of like, well, you know, fuck, you know, he got lucky, or this, that, or the other. Like, he knew exactly what he should have done. He knows, like, if he could have redone that game, he definitely would have played it differently. But Violet, he's going for this 10 pull. I mean, he's going for Banelings, of course, but really light on the gas. So I actually really like this style of Banelings in particular, because what tends to happen that makes this attack fail for most players is that they go across the map and they morph in too many Banelings. You know, you really only want 2 or 3 to start, and you use those to protect your Lings and allow your Lings to do the damage. It's not really about getting 2 explosive Baneling hits into the mineral line. So for Violet's sake here, he might not have a whole lot of gas to work with, but that's perfectly fine because he doesn't need to make a lot of gas-based units. Now, I think this actually snuck out. I don't know if Hendralisk saw that, actually. I should have been watching that vision. He did. Okay, cancels the natural base, cancels the second gas. It gets to work right away and getting some Lings out as quickly as possible. The gas is for an extractor trick in order to get units out in time to actually defend this. I really like that move. Now, it's 1 base versus 1 base where Hendralisk has 5 drones over his opponent. That means he's got 5 drones he can actually afford to lose, plus a queen. I mean, he's got so much going for him defensively. Is Violet going to automatically win this? No, but he's still in a very, very strong position of power. Nope. Nice control with those Zerglings on top of the Banelings, trying to sacrifice as little as possible to kill these. There we go, no longer a danger to the mineral lines, but this queen needs some support. Drones have got to get here. Lings are not going to pop in time. This queen is going to go down. First queen down, that kind of sucks, but I mean, right now for Violet, the damage has already kind of been dealt. Not only did he kill a queen, which is really expensive, Hendralisk canceled his expansion. The idea is, of course, that you kill an expansion, of course, in the best case scenario, but he's also forced out 2 spine crawlers. Like, at this point, if Violet decides to not all in, but instead, like, he started droning mildly behind this, but can go for a hatchery himself, I think he comes out of this so far ahead. Now, drones are pulled this time. Hendralisk a little bit scared because of that Baneling popping on things, but queen needs to live. Oh, and she will, just barely. Okay, so there's no secondary quick follow-up to this out of Violet. He stopped making Lings in order to make drones. He's trying to get his economy back up and get in a situation where he can comfortably move forward. Well, the resources lost look fairly even. Keep in mind, not only did each of these spines... Oh, he actually canceled one of them. Not only did the one spine car up actually take an actual drone, so 50 minerals, a worker lost mining time, the other 100 on top of it. So Hendralisk actually sort of behind for the time being. The one thing he really has going for him well, though, is this speed. This metabolic boost very well may just win him the game. Now, of course, in this position like this, it doesn't really come into effect, but when it comes to head-on engagement, running around the Banelings, fighting where he can, I mean, oh, don't send them all up that ramp. You don't know if there's a Baneling waiting for you. Oh, that's what loses games the most, but sneaks a couple off to the side. The low Zerglings, oh, this is such precision. These will become Hendralisk Banelings, and they'll heal to full health. So really, just fully utilizing everything your best you can. There's a lot of Zerglings here without speed. Hendralisk only needs like 1 or 2 good connects, and he'll be in an okay spot to like just completely blow over this. Do we get IEM replays? Yes! Farside has always given us the okay to share the North American replays, so I will make sure to bundle these up for all you Zerg lovers a little bit later tonight. But these slow Lings, can they escape the wrath of the Banelings is the big question. Doesn't quite get a great connect there, but he's going to get the queen for it. Second Zerglings, oh, Baneling almost pops on top of this. Doesn't quite get there. And Violet now moving up for his counterattack. Hendralisk has got his hatchery on the way here at the natural base, but perhaps no way to defend against it. 2 queens on the ramp simply won't cut it. Where's that spine crawler? No, actually, guys, where's that spine crawler? Oh, there we go. I missed it. Does have transfuse, pops it right away. Hatchery in a bit of trouble. He can't really move away from the ramp. The second he actually gets off this ramp, he is dead. So I like that he goes for the hatchery cancel instead. His opponent still doesn't have one. He doesn't have to worry about falling behind in that regard. But it's 1 base versus 1 base, and Hendralisk is up 10 flipping workers. So I'd say he's a pretty gosh darn good spot. With the queens, the banelings, and the spine crawler, he shouldn't really lose too much at all. Queens can always focus fire down those banelings, and of course his own banelings will zone out his opponent's lings, so sending 2 at a time like this, not gonna work efficiently. Violet's gotta be scratching his head like, what do I do? Like, he knows he's down drones. Hendralisk could start that natural hatchery up once again. There we go, already on it. Spines move forward, and there's 3 queens at this ramp. This is looking really good for Hendralisk. So you're gonna chase that Overlord off, trying to sneak some lings out here. Might be able to bait some baneling hits if that's the case. Gets 1. Both boys gonna lose some banelings a bit unnecessarily. Hendralisk still has plenty to work with. And this spine, oh, perhaps should not have uprooted. Queens will be able to snipe off the damage though, I think. Yeah, trades baneling for baneling. Sadly on top of the spine. Does transfuse it up a bit, but these links who run past and just go to the main. Oh, nice baneling connect out of Hendralisk actually. So now there's only 2 lings up here. If these get turned into banelings and Hendralisk doesn't realize it, okay, he knows. He's on top of it. I hope. There we go. Alright, that could have gone much worse. So, okay, Hendralisk gets the expansion down, Violet gets his expansion down. As weird of an opening as this was, what's even weirder is the fact that they're actually not too far different from one another at the moment. Despite the resources lost again, Hendralisk does have 7 workers, which is going to be quite a pain to overcome. So I think that's probably the one big difference between these players, but at the same time, all it's going to take is a couple good baneling connects. Hendralisk's not looking for a second. Maybe he changes it around. Oh, I see Penguin lurking in chat. Big shout out to Penguin. What's up, man? I know he's going to be casting some of these with Kalaris on the ESL mainstream, guys, so make sure you give them some love and tell them Base Trade TV sent you if you go hang out over there. But I do, of course, hope you'll hang out with us tonight. Hope you'll have a good time here on Base Trade TV with our wonderful Game Heart UI. Oh, what the fuck? Sorry, don't ever scroll like this. Sends me off to the middle of nowhere. But as far as the next step in this matchup goes, for Violet right now, sadly, he kind of has to focus on droning. Hendralisk, in turn, gets the head start on the roaches. I think the other thing, too, is like, well, Hendralisk hasn't had as much money to work with. Well, actually, hold up. And I take that back. I was gonna start talking about something completely different, but yeah, he'll have a nice roach lead for the time being. Defensively speaking, Violet should be able to hold unless Hendralisk decides to attack with like a low amount of roaches. Or sorry, he'll be able to hold if Hendralisk decides to attack with a low amount of roaches. But there's really no reason for Hendralisk to attack with 10 roaches now, instead of just bulking up and getting as many as possible. He's even started clearing out some of the overlords here in the middle of the map. The vision difference between these 2 players is phenomenal. Hendralisk sees everything, whereas Violet sadly sees almost nothing. Ooh, nice little $5 donation coming in from X-Kawaiian. Says, thanks so much for yesterday. Here's a $5 footlong with little happy face Kirby hearts. Thank you, man. Anyways, these roaches marching up the ramp. It is 11 to 9. Like, this is what I was a little bit worried about for Hendralisk, perhaps coming a little too early. But if these banelings do not connect on the lings will actually be huge against these roaches. Hendralisk decides to try and focus fire a little bit. Does lose a lot of the lings, but Violet is also bleeding out these roaches. However, baneling segmented towards the mineral lines. Violet realizes, spreads his drones, and Hendralisk gets almost nothing for that attack. 20 lings will be able to catch the roaches now on the retreat. A couple of the queens off in the middle of the map for no reason whatsoever other than sniping a couple of overlords, which didn't even die, just got corralled over. This is looking pretty bad for Hendralisk all of a sudden. He's brought the spine caller back home. He's got a couple more going down, and I can't blame him. I don't know why he chose to go out so soon, but that very well may have been his downfall here. He's got to be very careful with defending this. Roaches do find the best case scenario where they got their backs against the wall to minimize damage, but there's still so many Zerglings, so many roaches coming from Violet. And Hendralisk right now is in a whole world of trouble. Spine callers might be able to hold against this. In fact, I believe the spine callers will hold against this. You can probably cancel the other 2. He might let them finish because he doesn't quite know what's coming, but... Yeah, but now those Banelings already finished to clean up the circle. He sees Roach is going to bleed out really quick, so Transfuse does go down. He's got to pull these back into the Spine Crawlers, though. Fighting away from them for any amount of time is just not going to help. So Hendralisk, once again, kind of just in this, like, deep breath scenario. He's had to build a lot of static defense. He's had to really... Okay, he barely gets those cancels. God, I don't know. That one looked complete. This one I understand. This one looked like it was finished. But Violet decides to pull back home. He doesn't want to make the same mistake Hendralisk just did. In fact, he's going to try and take a third while this is going on, which I think is really, really, really ballsy. But we'll see, we'll see. Okay, he actually takes the third too. I was going to say, if Violet takes his third, he's a little behind the layer tech, but this will send him ahead in this game. But because they're both kind of getting thirds around the same time, they're both being on layer tech, this kind of shifts back in Hendralisk's favor, in my opinion, where he's got a little bit of tech going for him, right? +1 weapons, will finish up before Violet's. He'll have Roach speed, which is a huge deal. For at least a good, like, 40, 50 seconds above his opponent. Again, that's in-game time. Real time is like 30 seconds, because, StarCraft clock, right? Anyways, with all the Spine Crawlers out, defensive fights should be really easy for Hendralisk. The problem is, it's not the case for offensive fights. Now, he's got a pretty nice Roach lead at the moment, but keep in mind, by the time he actually gets to Violet's base, 16 becomes closer to 20, and Defender's Advantage comes in afterwards too. Combination Queens, combination Drones, so this could get messy very quickly. Neither player can really kill a third, but they can both harass and scout at least. I kind of almost wish Violet would just go from, like, there's no reason to do this viably for the composition he has, but I think, like, if he invested in, like, 2 mutas, man, the amount of overlords he would freaking kill. Hendrix just has them all over the map. Of course, it's not worth the transition cost at all, but still just insane to consider just how much these guys are spread out. Same kind of goes for Hendrix, I guess, as Violet has this really nice wall. But somehow these two Lings sneak past everything. I think if they wanted, they could have baited out some Baneling hits, but middle of the map, about to collide, and Hendralisk does have that lead. He's got speed, actually both players do at this point, but he's got a Roach numbered lead, and I think at the end of the day, that's all that matters. 34 Roaches versus 21, no Defender's Advantage because they're caught in the middle of the map. We've got a Baneling going down, small bit of AoE going down on top of this, but at the end, this is not going well for Violet at all, and Hendralisk appears to have completely turned this around once again. 31 Roaches over 8, there's just no way to take on numbers like this. So drones are going to be pulled, third base is going to die. I don't know if Violet will tap out immediately, but he is absolutely screwed. There we go. GG. Hendralisk ties up the series 1-1 and gives us a game number 3.